Yomi. Yes, we are on page 300. So, we're talking about things that people do on Shabbat to heal themselves. And we said that if you're not sick in bed, you're not really allowed to do therapeutic practices. But there are certain activities that you're permitted to do it, and it doesn't resemble healing. We said, for example, a light massage, or a person's drinking tea to feel better. He washes his face. Even healthy people do this stuff. So therefore, it's allowed for a person who's in pain also. So letter H on 299. One who has a minor toothache may numb the tooth by sipping whiskey normally and allowing the whiskey to flow over the affected area. However, he may not spit it out, because when he spits it out, he's making it look clear that he's doing it for medicinal purposes. When you're drinking it, so it looks like you're drinking, so therefore it'll be allowed. Letter I, one who has a stuffed nose and he cannot breathe so well, he's allowed to sniff Vicks, right? That's non-medicated, or such other strong smelling items in order to open up your nasal passage. J, one may use a heated pillow or blanket. K, you may eat foods that helps get rid of heartburn. Yes, scenario, izhoga. If a person has izhoga, what should he eat? What vegetable or fruit should he eat? Carrots. So let's say I have izhoga on Shabbat. Can I take a Zyrtec? No, you can't take a Zyrtec. But can I eat a carrot? Yeah, you can eat a carrot. Why? Because even a healthy person can eat a carrot. So why can't I eat a carrot? So a healthy person wouldn't take a Zyrtec though. So I could eat a carrot. It's allowed. Okay. Some people sweat a lot and they have areas of their body that rub against each other. It causes chafing. It causes a rash. So what does he want to do? He wants to put talcum powder on those areas that gets a rash in order that it shouldn't get a rash. That's also permitted. Preventative medicine. Number 4. Medicine which is preventative and doesn't cure is permitted on Shabbat. This is because a person who's taking it is not currently ill and it cannot be considered medicine. So what's a preventative type of medicine? A, in applying insect repellent or sunscreen. You're allowed to put sunscreen and you're allowed to put insect repellent on Shabbat, and it's not considered healing yourself because it's preventative medicine. It's not you're already sick. It's to prevent me getting sick. That's allowed. Take B, taking vitamins. That guy wants to take vitamin D, or the multivitamin, whatever, all the fish oil, all this stuff. Mutar on Shabbat. But you're not allowed to take Advil. You're not allowed to take Tylenol on Shabbat. That's when you're sick already. But vitamins, you're not sick. You're not sick yet. And hopefully you won't be sick, but you're allowed to take them on Shabbat. C, take antacids before eating to prevent heartburn. There's some medicines you could take it before you eat in order that you shouldn't have a izhoga afterwards. Those are also allowed on Shabbat. D, applying a non-medicated adhesive bandage to protect a wound, or ice pack. Let's say I'll have how do you say it in Russian? When you get a piece of wood stuck in your split. Zanoza. Yeah. So zanoza, you're allowed to remove it on Shabbat. Try to make yourself not bleed. Try to avoid it, but it's mutar. G, using deodorant or mouthwash. That's allowed, even though that prevents you from smelling. That's fine. Preventative medicine is fine. Let's say a person is hazan and he wants to take a raw egg and go like this, virvila, and then go and he'll be able to sing now nicely. You're allowed to swallow raw egg in order to soothe your vocal cords. And let's say a person, he's not allowed to have sugar. So what does he put in his coffee? What do you put in his tea? He puts Splenda, he puts stevia, he puts all these other artificial sweeteners. Those are also permitted to use on Shabbat. Number 5, one may use antiseptic ointment on Shabbat to prevent infection. 6, it is permitted to use creams for medicinal purposes that are absorbed into the skin if one is extremely pained. Similarly, one may apply gel to aching gums or a cream to rashes if they cause a lot of pain. This also can be done for a child if it gets fully absorbed. Let's say a guy, he has a lot of pain in his hands, right? So he wants to put cream, right? To make it that he doesn't have chapped hands, you know? If he doesn't put cream, it's going to get worse. And he's going to bleed, he's going to be ripped, big cuts, he's going to be not able to use his hand. So over there, he's allowed to put cream if it gets absorbed into the skin, not that it stays, like Vaseline. It stays. It doesn't get absorbed in it. But there's some creams that it gets absorbed once you put it in. It's not going to be an issue of mimareach, of smoothing, because it gets absorbed. And plus, it's not considered a medicine because he's not waiting till he already gets the cuts. He's doing it preventative. He's moisturizing every few hours, so that way it doesn't get to a point where he's going to bleed and rip his skin. Okay. 7. One may not use oils on his skin to heal himself. However, one may place oil on his body for non-medicinal purposes. A baby, however, may put oil on his skin even for medicinal purposes. So let's say a person he doesn't feel well, and he says, "Heal me. Put oil on my back, and like this, I'm gonna feel better. I'm gonna get healed." And I'll do that on Shabbat. But if he does it for non-medicinal purposes, he does it because I like the smell, or I like how it feels. I like feeling hydrated after. That's okay. It's mutar, but not because he's in pain and he's sick. Okay, 8. It is forbidden on Shabbat to apply an ointment to a bandage. Somebody has let's say some special cream for when you have a cut, and he wants to put the cream on the Band-Aid and then put the Band-Aid on the person. It's not allowed to. And if such a Band-Aid was placed on Shabbat, on a wound before Shabbat, it is forbidden to put it back on if it fell off, or to put a new one. However, if the Band-Aid needs to be changed to prevent infection, you're allowed to prepare bandages with ointment before Shabbat, and then replace the Band-Aid on Shabbat. So what happens is, it's not allowed to make this type of ointment bandage on Shabbat. And if you put it on before Shabbat and it fell off, you can't put it back. But if the person doesn't do this, he's going to get an infection, you should make all these types of bandages before Shabbat, and then you'll be able to replace it each time. If it's a very deep cut, and you need to put the ointment in order to prevent the infection, you should put the ointment on the cut, and then put the bandage. Not to put the bandage, the ointment in the bandage. You have to put it on the cut and then put the bandage. What if I'm not using any ointment? Number 10. You're allowed to use non-medicated band-aids on Shabbat. It means, what about ripping the paper to open the band-aid? Mutar. Removing the stickers? Mutar. Yeah. Putting on the band-aid onto my skin? Mutar. Even though we know that glue is not allowed to be used on Shabbat. If I take 2 pieces of paper and glue them, I transgress tofer. It's one of the melachot. But since I'm doing it to my skin is not, I'm not going to stick this Band-Aid forever. It's meant to be here a few days, 1 day, 2 days, then you take it off afterwards. Then it's mutar to put on this Band-Aid. What about taking it off? Rabbi, it's on my leg. There's a lot of leg hair over there. I'm going to rip it off. I'm going to rip out my hair. Also mutar, as long as you don't have, a purpose to rip out the hair. I don't want to rip out those hairs. Now, it's preferable to wait after Shabbat if you could, because if you know it's going to pull out hairs for sure. But if you have a way to pull it out without ripping hairs, or you can't wait, technically it's mutar. Okay, we'll stop over here. Baruch Amen. Amen.